What's up, everyone? We are now back with some fun for you here. A day late. I know we typically do Tuesday evenings, but I had some stuff come up yesterday, so we pushed it back today, but I'm glad we're able to do this. And we've brought a few friends along here to help us out today as we get into some interesting times when it comes to soccer, USL, and sports in general. This is the Orange and Black SoccerCast.
Towards the near post, the flick, and it's in! Darwin Jones with the response for Orange County. And it is a massive one. Off the goal, dominant in the last 10.
Forrester in the middle now, gets around a few defenders. Forrester with the outside of the right foot. What a strike by Harry Forrester. It's the opening goal for Orange County.
Headed down, back post, opportunity and a goal! A beautiful goal by Orange County.
This is the Orange and Black SoccerCast, the first and only podcast dedicated to Orange County Soccer Club, its fans, and supporters. Follow us on Twitter at OCSC_SoccerCast or on Facebook at Orange and Black SoccerCast.
How's it going, Orange County? Welcome to another episode of the Orange and Black SoccerCast, presented by Roughneck Scarves and Icarus FC. We are the first and only podcast dedicated to Orange County Soccer Club, its fans and supporters. I'm your host, Ray Samora, and I'm here to take you through this journey over the next few months as we find stuff to talk about outside of USL and soccer. And we will be doing that, and we're going to continue going as long as we have to until the real thing starts back up. Joining me as he does each and every episode, the play-by-play man for the grudge match between myself and Alan this past weekend. That's Dylan from County Line Coalition. Dylan, how are you doing, and how's it feel to be back on the podcast instead of doing play-by-play?
Oh, it's great. I can continue to spout off meaningless things here, and but now more people have to listen to it, so it's great. It's great. I hope everyone's having a good week so far. Maybe enjoying being 6 feet away from everyone else.
Yes, I think now it's like more than half of the country is isolated from others, which is definitely a very interesting thing, something I never thought I'd go through in my lifetime.
I hope this is the entirety of our existence forever. Except I want sports back. But other than that, stay away from me.
Yes, come back sports. We definitely are missing sports. I'm sure each of us and pretty much anyone that listens to this podcast is probably missing some sports in their life. But we're going to talk about how we're trying to resolve that issue in just a little bit. Also want to welcome on the person that didn't fare so well this past weekend, if we could say it nicely there, and that's Alan down in San Diego. Alan, how are you feeling, man?
If you can say it nicely. I mean, if you described exactly what that game was, people would be like, man, that is so messed up that you would embarrass him like that on the internet. And then I would say, no, that was me embarrassing myself on the internet, not Ray. Don't take it personally.
Oh, and it was funny because I think you got 3 or 4 red cards in the final 20 minutes of our second match. And I think Dylan was just dying, trying to figure out what is he going to say next, except for Dylan just wanted to constantly talk about tattoos for that whole time. But we'll get into that a little bit more in detail.
No, I'm doing great. It's spring break, man. Feels exactly like I do every spring break. I sit at home and do nothing.
And you build a new set for your podcasting.
Yeah. I got a new set going on here. Got some scarves and it's great.
Perfect. And let me do this. Let me welcome on a couple of guests that we invited on to help us share what is going to sort of go on in the world of soccer, USL type soccer here for the next, I don't know, maybe a few months, hopefully not that long. First, let's welcome in Kaylor. He's coming in from, is it Alabama, right?
Yes. As you can tell by my accent, I'm definitely not from SoCal. But yeah, I am from Alabama. I am an education student at the University of Alabama, just trying to graduate and not die from this virus. And so to try to stay 6 feet away from everybody, I have secluded myself into my room and playing only video games, in which I am playing in the EUSL Cup and the FIFA USL Cup.
You're just participating in a bunch of esports, it sounds like, and we appreciate you doing your part and trying to stay 6 feet away from people and help try and limit what's going on. And luckily, we're all here in different areas on a video feed, so none of us are worrying. It's funny, watching ESPN and stuff. That's what they're doing now on ESPN and stuff. Is it's all remote feeds. No one's in the studios anymore, which is really weird. And it's funny because you could tell there's like a delay in some of their feeds, so they're trying to like talk over each other. It just doesn't quite work the same. We'll get into more of that though. We also have one more guest to welcome on, and that is Sergio. I know I asked you what team you're representing, so I will assume, are you from that state that team plays in?
Yeah. I'm
representing South Carolina, right?
South Carolina. Yeah.
Perfect. Welcome on to the Orange Black SoccerCast.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
So how are things out in South Carolina, as just sort of in general? Are you guys sort of staying secluded or social distancing or whatever it is that's going on across the country?
Our governor, he just ordered to close all schools for the rest of the semester to go online. We can't have dining, like the restaurants can only be open for takeout orders, another thing like that. My girlfriend, she was actually studying abroad this past semester in Argentina. And she had to come back early from her study abroad program. They canceled all that. She went through JFK in Atlanta. So when I picked her up, we've only been in quarantine for the past 2 weeks just to limit exposure to other people just in case. So yeah, it's been nothing but video games and a lot of Sims with her.
Yeah, this is so crazy. And I work at a university out here. I work at UC Irvine. Similar type of thing. It's weird. The students just are like sort of figuring it out. What do you do? And it went all online for the spring quarter, because they do quarters out there. And they also had to basically, well, not quite cancel, but they're postponing commencement. They're going to do an online commencement at the end of the school year. And then they're going to do one in the winter break for any students that want that actual, like, get to walk up and grab your diploma and do that whole pomp and circumstance. So it's crazy, and it's not just affecting the sports world, it's affecting everyone. Like y'all are saying, having to, if you want to eat, it's only takeout. That's the same thing it is here. You're walking into stores and they have like went to Ralph's today and they have stickers on the floor telling you stand here, and then if you're in the checkout line, and then it says stand here, and it's like 6 feet apart. Like, you're literally, everyone's taking it serious. It's crazy, but I appreciate that people are taking it serious.
That's good.
So as you could tell, Kaylor and then Sergio, they're here to represent what's going on with this EUSL thing. We're going to get into that in just about 5 minutes, but I do got to just get back onto this whole grudge match between Orange County and San Diego. I do, man. Hey, I wasn't the one that posted the score when people were asking for it, so I give you props to that, Alan, for posting that score. I think, what did you post? 16-1,
14-1.
14-1.
It was close. It was close.
It might have felt more. And I saw when I was talking about like all those red cards you were accumulating at the end, I think it was out of frustration. I saw some of our guests just sort of cracking up as they heard what was going on there. Let me get to Dylan really quick. Dylan, what was running through your mind the second half of that second match, where just Alan's just getting pissed? You could tell he's getting pissed, and he's just like going in for the kill and trying to take out and injure players digitally.
Well, I couldn't tell if he was pissed off or if he was just trying to screw around at that point. And with the no subs thing, see if you can cut down one of your guys. But I mean, I've been there at the end of FIFA matches too. Usually it's when I'm screwing around and I'm like 2-3 goals up. I'm like, I could lose a man. Like, well, this will be fine. But no, it was definitely a good time trying to commentate this as Alan just makes like 4 or 5 absolute horror tackles in a row, and I'm like, this guy's gonna get sent off. Like, he's gonna forfeit the match. I mean, maybe the forfeit's the better than losing 6-1. And no, just like yellow card after yellow card after yellow card for some reason. So, I mean, lenient ref, but it was very fun.
That's what I think. It was a lenient ref on that. I think some of those should have been straight reds. I think even on our Google Hangout virtual beer fest, I think they were even saying a couple times that it should have been red cards. And Alan and I were on that Hangout stream, but we both agreed to stay quiet because we were like a minute ahead of the stream. And there was a few times towards the end there, Alan was just like letting it go. What's going on in these matches? It was hilarious. The guys loved your commentary, by the way, Dylan. They were cracking up every time you talked about Toby Alderweireld's horrible sleeves or Roberto Firmino's neck tattoos. And whatever other fun information you had prepared for that. You did your homework for that, and we definitely appreciate that, Dylan.
Well, Hugo Lloris making terrible decisions like drunk driving and trying to play with the ball at his feet. Those are constants in life. So those didn't take any effort. But that first game where you two just played a whole bunch of kids was pretty difficult. Found out that one of the
One of Alan's
kids
guys didn't have his
first
name on it, right?
Yeah, he had ended up switching someone out for Curtis Jones. And if I'd seen his text beforehand, then we would have been okay, and I would have had some good jokes. But oh well, life goes on.
Oh, well. Alan, how did it feel in your end?
It felt fantastic. It felt so great. It was so much fun. I did all of the things, and none of them worked. There were definitely a few times where I had to unmute myself because I couldn't like shout into the void any longer. It was like, you know, in like middle school when there's like the kids versus teacher game of like basketball. That's what it felt like to me. Like I was the middle school kid just getting like going for an easy layup, and the PE teacher just comes and is like, nah, boom. And then like you let one in, you're like, oh, look at that, you got a basket. And then it was, yeah, I felt like I was wearing long shorts and like a Looney Tunes t-shirt again. I felt very middle school.
The like crisscross Looney Tunes shirts. I remember those back in the day. Let me say this though, Alan, the what 2 goals I think you scored in that whole time. They were legit goals. I wasn't letting you score on those opportunities. You actually got a couple by me. Now, like I was saying earlier, I don't remember if it was on here or before we went live. I always give up like 1 or 2, like one just bonehead goal in a match, and then I just turn it on and go from there, which is sort of what happened in our matches.
Yeah, I let in like 6 bonehead goals.
You just didn't turn it on.
That's what it was. That's what it was. I thought we were playing golf, low score wins, right?
So here's what's happening. I think Alan's now sort of retiring from semi-competitive FIFA play there. I think what we're going to do is we're trying to talk him into the play-by-play booth with Dylan, and I think I'm trying to get these two to be the play-by-play guys for my matches in the EUSL tournament. So for our streams that we're putting out there, hopefully you'll be hearing Dylan and Alan making the calls, and hopefully that's a good pairing there.
I mean, go ahead, Alan.
That's a bold choice. Let's see if it works out.
Yeah, usually you have to pay double for that kind of action, and it's probably not going to be very good action. So
I'll pay you guys twice as much of what I pay you guys to be on this podcast each week.
Oh, well, you got yourself a deal. Finally, a living wage.
That's 2 polo shirts.
Hey, you already got 2 shirts this season. You just haven't got the polo shirt yet. So let's do this. Let's segue into this whole ESL thing, because again, there's nothing really else to talk about, and we have a couple guests out on the East Coast that are up late to help talk about this with us. So let's get into it. I'm going to go to you first, Kaylor. You're representing Birmingham, and you said it sounds like you're going to play with Birmingham City, sort of that joke that's going on between these two teams, or whatever we would call that. Is that your plan?
Yeah, so this whole thing with Birmingham City, boy, wasn't that something. Someone decided to post a chant of us during our friendly with Atlanta United, and some of the Birmingham City fans found it and was like, wait a minute, there's another Birmingham. This is hilarious. And they play soccer, kinda. And they decided to make fun of us because there were only like 5 of us chanting. So they started sending us all these videos of them chanting. And so it started off as just a big old, like, oh, you guys suck. And then it became, well, SOTM, crap on the Memphis, because that's what they say to the Villa. And it became this big thing where Birmingham City fans were just assaulting the Memphis Twitter, and it was something absolutely stupid. So the way the EUSL works, you pick a FIFA team that is 3.5 stars or lower, and Birmingham City is right on that 3.5 stars. So I pick them, and let's hope I don't go completely winless.
Hey, you know what? When you get to the even matches that we have, I think I don't think anyone's going to really go below the 3.5 star. I think everyone's trying to find the best 3.5 star out there, team out there. And it's going to make things pretty even. Now, some of these teams are better than others. Obviously, I've been going and practicing all week, trying like 5 of these teams that I had earmarked or wrote down as potential teams to use. And I tried one of them the other day. I did a friendly against one of our fellow competitors, and I just was like 3 seconds into the game, I'm like, nope, this is not my team. I still played it out, lost, whatever, but that's sort of how it went. Sergio, let me jump on over to you. How has your preparation been going for this tournament, and do you want to share your team, or is that sort of a secret?
No. Your honestly, I've been just using the Discord that we have just a way to find more people to play with in general, FIFA. I haven't really practiced specific teams yet, to be honest. But every now and then I'll practice with probably like a Liga MX team. I remember that originally the first set of rules when they came out was to only use what was it, the League One championship teams. Yeah, championship teams. So now that they opened it up to all 3.5 teams, I would think I'm going to go with some of the Mexican teams.
You do like Cruz Azul?
No, America probably. Yeah.
Okay.
America.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good shout there. That's a good team.
I like the pace.
That's one of the cool things when they opened it up to all 3.5 teams. I think everyone just sort of got excited because now you can actually go and look for a team.
Yeah.
Everyone's trying to find that diamond in the rough team that no one maybe is thinking of or using. I know that's what I've been trying to do. I know I've tried playing some practice matches with a team from the Saudi Arabian League.
Oh, wow.
I've been using some of the Russian teams, which is where I'm leaning. And then, sort of like what Kayla's doing, I'm like, am I like sort of legally obligated to go with Rangers because the partnership with Orange County, they're a 3.5 team in the game as well. So I'm sort of torn on that. I'm not really excited about using, Rangers just because from the research I did, and I've been using, is it Spartak Moscow, I believe is what I've been using in some of my training. They're a pretty good team. So I'm still on the fence of, am I going to do that? Or am I going to do Rangers, or I'm going to do my team from Saudi Arabia, even though they have a really horrible goalie.
Yeah.
They have some awesome players. So I'm still on the fence with what I'm using, but it's probably going to be one of those 3 teams on there, which is pretty cool. It's given me an opportunity to learn more about some of these other league teams. Cause when I play FIFA, it's usually a Premier League team, or I'm playing ultimate team and using the best players, which are typically in the Premier League or the French league, the Spanish league or whatnot. You don't usually drop down and find a Saudi Arabian league player that's going to be on your ultimate team. Kayla, let's jump back to you really quick. So what got you interested in this? What's your background in FIFA? Share with our listeners what they can expect out of you if they watch any of your matches.
Well, my background in FIFA goes back to, I think the earliest one I remember is 2002. I've been playing FIFA for a long time. Doesn't mean I'm any good at it, but I've been playing for a long time. And I found it because the Twitter page, the USL memes, they posted it they said, this is an idea. We don't know how far this is going to go. And then everybody jumped on board. Everybody should go follow the USL memes page. Quality content all the time. As for what they expect from me, if you're just watching the gameplay, it's not going to be good. But if you decide to watch my stream, which is Legion Hodges, like the team I'm representing, and my last name Hodges, you can expect, I guess, some laughs, some, I guess me trying to be as wholesome as I can as I'm losing by 8. Me just trying to keep a smile on my face and smile through the pain.
I can give you some pointers.
So I take it sounds like you're going to actually throw a feed of yourself onto that stream so people can see your reactions and hear what you got to say, or is it just going to be your chat?
Yeah, I have a setups. Oh wow, what a way to words. Set up where I have the camera so they can see me, and as I slowly sink further into my chair as I lose more and more. I mean, realistically, I think this whole time, I think I can scratch out a few wins, but I think I'm probably going to be sitting mid to low table. But I will at least make it worth the watch.
So we got Sergio. He's also representing an Eastern Conference team, so I'm sure you guys are going to get an opportunity to play each other at some point this season. Sergio, same questions for you. What's your sort of background in FIFA, and what can our listeners expect if they watch your feed during this season?
Yeah, I like to play FIFA a lot. I was pretty much, I don't know, since middle school, I've been playing just a lot of people like to play a lot of video games and get really good at a lot of them. I just decided to stick to FIFA, make it my game, hopefully. I don't know how good I am compared to other people, but I actually worked for the Charleston Battery for a summer as an intern with their broadcasting team. So my old boss from that time, he follows the USL meme Twitter page. And when they announced the league, he has commented me and tagged me on one of those posts, because when the Battery, while I was working there, they had a tournament where you could win $1,000 and all these things with the Battery. And I actually got to play in that one, made it all the way to the semifinals. So they kind of just knew that, I was affiliated with the club. I really liked the club. And it would have been good to just put myself out there with FIFA and stuff like that.
I maybe Kaylor's now a little bit intimidated now that you made it like that far into a local FIFA tournament, it sounds like. And it sounds like you're dedicated more to FIFA than any other video game. You're sort of in my shoes. I pretty much 95% of the time I'm playing FIFA. The other percent of the time, maybe playing like NBA 2K20, maybe some Forza Motorsport or Forza Horizons. And my kids always want to get me to play Plants vs. Zombies, but I try and I like die in the first like 2 seconds of that because I'm not a shooter game person or whatever. I'm more of a sports game person. So
even with like entertainment, that's all I like to watch, like people playing FIFA or stuff like that. I actually got to meet some of the some FIFA pros while I was abroad in Spain last year because I had the Champions League Cup in Madrid where I was studying abroad, and I got to meet like Jimmy Conrad, for example, Mike LaBelle, people from what's his name? Willett, I think, from one of the icons in Ultimate Team. He was there. Like I got to meet some of those pro players also in the MLS, for example. So I guess it's a community that I've always been following at least, and try to just meet more people through that way. So hopefully this is just another way for me to not put myself out there. I'm definitely not trying to be a competitive gamer, but just to get more involved with that community, the FIFA side of stuff, that community for sure. And
what are you said, are you on Xbox or PlayStation?
Xbox, yeah.
So Xbox, Eastern Conference Xbox players, watch out, man. We got someone that knows his stuff. He knows the professionals, and he made it to what, the semifinals or the quarterfinals of a local tournament, something like that.
Yeah.
Be scared, Xbox Eastern Conferencers. Kaylor's actually sort of confident now because he's PlayStation, I believe, so he doesn't have to worry about facing you, Sergio.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about that too much anymore. I just need to be worried about literally everybody else. So,
oh yes, definitely. Have you guys? I'll start with you, Kaylor. Have you been doing any warm-up matches?
Oh yeah, I've been doing a whole lot. I go in on the Discord. There's a place where you can sign up for friendlies and do all that kind of stuff. I'm usually on there once a night hitting up some friendlies, and slowly but surely I've been getting better. They have the skill trainings, which I've been working on. I'm not going to say I'm good at them, but don't give me a free kick inside the 20. I might come close. So
let me throw it to you, Alan. Do you have any questions for either of our guests here?
How do you do skill moves?
I'd like to know this too, because I'm not really good at skill moves.
We're both on Xbox. Like I'm like holding both triggers and throwing my right stick. It's just terrible. It's like
basic stuff. I think I don't know. I think it's more like body positioning and timing really that makes a difference from the trick.
Oh, see, I thought it was like Mortal Kombat. I thought it was just like button mashing and just see what happens. See the combo like Dragon Ball Z.
No,
I will say this. Oh, go out.
If you hear me play FIFA and you hear me play Mortal Kombat, it's the same sounds. It's me getting my butt kicked and just a bunch of button mashing.
You're like doing like the finish him maneuvers or whatever you're trying to do, right? And I guess, Alan, you can sort of answer this. I consider myself more of a defensive player when it comes to FIFA, and I'm very physical. I will like knock you down and not get called for fouls or penalties. I don't know if you witnessed any of that, Alan, when we were playing our match.
Yeah, you got away with the stone cold pen. I mean, that was, everyone in the room agreed that was definitely a penalty. Even Dylan, see, look, it's true. Yeah, I was actually really, really impressed with how well you were able to stand up tackle. There you go, there's your compliment. That's about as far as I'll go.
It's that, yeah. I'm actually pretty decent at marking up players, and because even when I play like pro clubs on FIFA, I play defense. That's my main position, and I'm good at marking players, and I'm actually good at shielding the ball from players. I usually will draw probably 3 or 4. I think that's how I got a lot of your penalties, your cards, Alan. Is I was basically throwing my body between the ball and you as you came in for that. And that's just something I do naturally. So I'm giving my secrets away. So if I meet Sergio in the finals, he's going to be looking out for that now.
My preferred position is 4th substitute.
Dylan, you chimed in with a comment there about this penalty. I'm going to put the quotation marks because it wasn't called, so obviously it wasn't a penalty. Dylan, do you have anything to throw in? Any questions for any of our guests or any thoughts?
Yeah, I'm just glad that even USL refs like Daniel Radchuk are getting some quality time off. Still getting their game time in as they're apparently replacing all of the AI refs in FIFA 20. Both of you, both Sergio and Kaylor, what are your favorite vegetables and how do you prepare them?
They were not ready for that question, Dylan.
I like.
All right. So right now, right now, my entire fridge is stock full of celery. And usually I just either cut it up and I
Oh,
cut
for
it
those of
up
you that are
and
not watching our live feed, Alan is just giving like an absolute thumbs down with like the nastiest look on his face, and then Dylan was, let's just say, not safe for work language on his
Yes.
response to that. Go ahead, Kaylor.
So basically, I usually don't eat it by itself. I put it into a vegetable soup, and the celery, I think, just toss it all together.
There we go. What about you, Sergio?
I just got a lot of frozen spinach here. I put it in omelet in the mornings. That's about it.
I think so. This is a question we typically ask all of our professional, like Orange County Soccer Club players when they join us on the show. That's a question. Dylan's compiling all of the answers so he can create a USL vegetable cookbook with recipes from all the players. So you potentially will get to be on that. I don't know if he's really doing a book, but that's what I like to joke about because that's his question for everyone. And I think that's the first time, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Dylan, the first time we've ever gotten celery and spinach as options.
Yeah, I think we've got. I don't think we've ever gotten those. We got carrots, we got kale, we got asparagus,
And broccoli.
butternut squash.
I do
OG.
respect these spinach because I have a whole bunch of spinach in there too. That's a really good snack. If you're just looking for a healthy snack, just eat it like chips. It's exactly the same, except not, but it's similar-ish.
I know that Alan's just been craving those spinach chips all day long, right, Alan? I feel like talking about spinach. I mean, this is the most spinach talk we ever had. We got to like have the Popeye theme playing in the background while we're doing this. If there wasn't like licensing restrictions and whatnot, right?
It's good to get a lot of iron if you're like a pregnant woman right now, which is definitely like the group of people that are listening to this podcast.
Yes, obviously, Dylan.
Don't become anemic.
You know our demographics.
Yeah.
One other question. One other question that's a typical question for everyone, and I'll go to you first, Kaylor. Your go-to karaoke song.
Ooh, go-to karaoke song. Oh no.
If you don't know the name of it, you could just sing it for us, so we could try and figure it out.
I think if we're just the one song that you know the chorus to, "Come On Eileen."
Come on, Eileen. You want to give our listeners a little taste of what that would sound like if they saw you at the bar?
Well, I'm gonna mumble just like I would if I was at the bar. You're just in there, you're like, "Come on, Eileen. Oh, I swear on the come on, Eileen."
Sergio, we got to throw you down the spotlight now. What would be your go-to karaoke song?
Behind These Hazel Eyes, Kelly Clarkson.
I don't know the song. How does it go?
No.
I will say this, Kaylor, props to you. You're the first person to actually ever sing the song that they've mentioned. No one's ever been willing to actually sing it. So I think Kaylor needs to get an award for that. We do end of season awards for our podcast. We do player awards and stuff like that. We do have guest of the year awards that are non-players. We're going to count you guys into that. So potentially, Kaylor, you put yourself up there at the top of the list now for potential guest of the year by singing the chorus to "Come On, Eileen," man.
Respect.
You didn't know that coming on to this podcast that you were going to be talking about vegetables, singing some songs, potentially putting yourself up for an award.
This wasn't on the script. So.
Oh yes. Alan, anything else you got?
Fun fact: "Come On, Eileen" features 0 guitars.
Oh, good to know.
So good. We won't have to hear Dylan playing it at the end of our podcast when me and Alan and Dylan are sort of recapping how things went.
Ouch.
Let me do this. Let me ask Kaylor, I'll go to you first. I know we've sort of talked about this, but give me a prediction on how many matches you're going to win in this EUSL league. I think there's 20 weeks or 22 weeks. I can't remember exactly how many.
I think we counted 22. I think I can snatch probably about 5. I think I'm going to draw a lot. I think I'm probably going to be sitting around 8, 9 draws and maybe 5 wins, and the rest are going to be me losing by 8.
And what about you, Sergio? Your realistic prediction on how many wins you'll get in this? I mean, it's hard to do because you don't really know your opponents yet. We don't know like we've played a few friendlies with some people. You know, some of the people that may be a challenge. So go for it, Sergio.
Hopefully, I don't know, maybe like 12 to 15, that range.
Ooh.
And yeah, that's kind of the goal, over 10 wins. Yeah.
I think I'm in your boat. I'm thinking like 10 wins is, ideal where I want to be for sure. Like I don't want to be any less than 10. And then splitting the rest between losses and draws, I think is sort of where I'm looking at. Now, of course, hopefully I can get, 22 wins and just sort of sweep the whole thing on the Western Conference, but I doubt that that's realistic.
The main goal is playoffs, I guess.
Yeah, get to the playoffs, and then it's, anything can happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even, someone in, I'm not trying to call you out, Kaylor, but you sort of are saying you're looking at more like 5 wins or whatever. You get to the playoffs. I mean, you could just have a lucky game and just knock someone out, and that's a pretty amazing thing. Let's do this. Let me go to you, Serge. Did you have anything else you want to share with our listeners? Anything about? And I don't know if we actually lost Sergio on here or if it's just me. And we may have lost Sergio here, so we'll see if he jumps back on. So I'll jump to you, Kaylor. Anything else that you may want to share with some of our listeners? I think we got Sergio back, but I'll go to you first, Kaylor, and then we'll go to Sergio.
Yeah, if your listeners have not been watching Twitter or anything like that lately, the USL has officially created a whole thing called the USL E-Cup, which is Rocket League, and it's a 1v1 tournament, 32 teams. It's going to be championship in League One, and I know that I'm representing the Birmingham Legion. And if you haven't watched Rocket League, it's basically soccer, but with cars. It sounds goofy. It looks a little goofy, but it's a lot of fun, easy to get into. So I really recommend getting into that. And if I have anything else to say to your listeners, donate blood. There's a shortage right now because of all that's going on. Do the right thing.
Yeah, and you talk about the Rocket League thing is our good friends up in Reno from 1868 Weekly. We're actually trying to start some sort of Rocket League thing going on. So, I guess it sort of sucks for them because they were trying to put something together and now the league jumps on doing it. But maybe the league got an idea from them and that's sort of how it happened. Who knows? But hey, you could play on both leagues if need be, and Alan's just sort of distracting me with some of his comments here on the chats. Sergio, let me see what do you have anything else, any information you want to share with our listeners as far as maybe what's going out in Charleston or what other plans you have going on during this break?
No, just online classes, trying to graduate this semester. Not trying to stay safe too.
Yeah, well, trying to stay safe, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Let's do this. Unless Dylan, Alan, do you have any other things you want to talk about with the EUSL, or can we maybe get on to see if there's any other soccer news to talk about before we wrap things up?
I'm good.
I would love to complain about the fact that Orange County doesn't have an EUSL team. Oh wait, no. Are we talking about the Rocket League one?
Yeah,
I'm
the
so
Rocket
confused. League. Yeah. Why don't I get to play?
Well,
the heck?
Let me talk to you really quick, Kaylor. Like, because I think you said like it was actually sort of like something with Birmingham is setting this up for you guys, and you sort of got chose to represent from maybe a trialist or a tournament to get into it.
Yeah, so there was a whole bunch of us. We were just kind of doing some little bit of Rocket League talk, whatnot, and because everybody had just gotten the game, and we have in our little Discord, we have some people that are from the front office. They like to snoop around to see if we are saying anything bad or embarrassing the club in any way. And some of them were in there, and they were hearing us talk about it. So like, let's play a few games. And from there, they said, "Hey, you're not terrible. How about you represent us for this USL E Cup, which I had no idea what that was because the announcement first came out today. But yeah, so it's a pretty exciting thing. It's done in the World Cup style. So there are 8 different groups with 4 teams in them, and the top 2 teams move on to the playoffs, and it's knockout just like the World Cup is. And I think it's supposed to be a real good time, and I'm excited, especially since Memphis is in our group, and y'all know how I feel about Memphis.
Well, I don't know what happened on our end, Dylan, Orange County. I don't know if they just sort of, I guess I sort of have an idea of what happened, but I guess, sort of sucks that there was nothing about this.
I've wasted a month of my life playing Rocket League. And I truly mean, like, all the hours have added up to me wasting an entire month of my life since I bought that game back in 2015 or 16, I think. I am.
Do we need to reach out to the front office and find out what happened? Why they didn't give you an invite for Rocket League, Dylan?
No, I'll just put on my big boy pants, grab a couple tissues, and get over this.
Oh, well, let's do this then. I know it's a little bit earlier than normal, but times aren't normal. There's not much real physical soccer to talk about out there in the world. And we're a soccer podcast. We're going to try things out. We just had a great topic to talk about today with this whole EUSL thing. We'll share updates throughout the season. Again, I'm participating, and then we also have Kaylor and Sergio participating in that. What we're going to do is we're going to go and wrap things up here. So what we like to do, gentlemen, is we like to end things with a random thought. It could be soccer related. It could be EUSL related. It could be anything related, sort of like Kaylor when he's talking about, hey, donate blood. That's sort of what we do random thought wise. And Kaylor, if you want to use that as your random thought and not say anything else, by all means, that's more than welcome. We'll give you guys a chance. If you guys want to think of a random thought, I'm going to go to Alan first for his random thought of the evening.
My first random thought of the evening is my wife made bomb cookies tonight, and I appreciated them. And so if you are on Twitter, so is she. And so you can go to...
Does she deliver?
No. At Sarah with an H _Esquire, and just be like, we heard your cookies were bomb on Twitter, and it might freak her out a little bit. Because unfortunately, she's waiting to watch Survivor right now. So
she's waiting for you?
Yeah, she's waiting for me. So she made bomb ass cookies. So hit her up on the Twitter machines at Sarah with an H _Esquire, like Bill and Ted. Also, she's an attorney, and tell her we heard you had bomb ass cookies. So
let's do this. Let's keep this podcast going another hour and a half, so that way she has to keep waiting, right, Alan?
That'd be a great idea. I only have to live with her in the same house for the next month without leaving, or 2 months, or 3 months. I don't know how long she'll let me live.
All right, let's go to you, Sergio. Do you have a random thought to share with our listeners?
I think honestly, no, I'm a little blank to be honest.
Trust me, I've been in that situation before where I know it's coming. This is my show. We do it every episode, and I've drawn a blank a few times as well. So no worries about that. If you think go ahead.
I think let's talk about the men's national team for a quick second. U.S. men's national team. I think honestly, having a little delay in games is really good for them, so that more players can just try to get. I think to give the staff a better idea of their player pool and to have more time to find an identity for the team to have in the coming years. I think that's one of the positives in soccer that we have right now. U.S. soccer. Who's this?
Yeah, hey, I think all of us want a quality U.S. men's national team. The women have held their own in the U.S. for a long time. Now we need the men to step up and join them at that level, especially, with the men wanting to get paid more than the women. Then they need to prove that they can hold their own when it comes to soccer and whatnot.
Win anything?
Win something. Win a game. Win a match. Kaylor, do you have anything random to share with our listeners, or do you want to just stick with the donate blood comment?
I just want to say that I love your boy and still my boy, Quinn, number 14, maybe number 14, but still number 1 in my heart. And if you want to follow along on the EUSL, my Twitter is Kaylor. It's like Taylor, but with a K, K-A-Y-L-O-R, Hodges. And my Twitch is Legion Hodges.
Perfect. And we'll give you a chance if you have any Twitter or social media you want to share with people, or you already did it, but if you want to share anything else with people, and Sergio, I'll give you a chance here in just a moment as well. Dylan, random thought, probably a book, especially since we're all staying indoors right now.
No, I've taken the week off of doing any serious reading as I write a ton of articles that never get published. What else is
You know,
new?
you can publish as many articles as you want on our website, Dylan, and they will get published.
Yeah, I'll get there. Yeah, keep staying inside. I think it's supposed to, everyone's probably going to start getting really sick in the next couple of weeks, but this quote unquote blind side of the world. So now we get to deal with it. But we do have the comfort of the rich and famous singing Imagine horrifically at their phones. So as you take your dying breaths with a ventilator or not with a ventilator when we run out, you can listen to Gal Gadot sing Imagine. I'm not bitter about this. Am I? Do I sound bitter?
You're so dark, Dylan. Come on, man. Dylan, cheer up. Be happy.
Yeah, here's something happier. If you're bored and you're stuck inside, DM me and tell me a song to play, or give me your Steam Origin Uplay account names, and maybe we can play a game.
Really quick, just want to say my first few days here now as working full time and as a teacher to two young boys, because they are now learning from home. Much respect to anyone that's a teacher, including band teachers like Alan, because it's a difficult task to handle, especially when it's just sort of this new atmosphere. My children have always gone to class. They've never learned at home online. So it's been a very interesting few days. So, props to teachers, Alan, props to you, as a teacher, a band director, whatever it is that you guys do out there.
Oh, and this one time at band camp?
On behalf of every teacher in the world, I'm their spokesperson. You are welcome, sir.
And also, again, if you didn't know, if you haven't heard of it, check out the EUSL. What's going to happen here? There's going to be matches every weekend. I think the matches take place either Friday, Saturday, Sunday, depending on when the opponents can sort of link together on that. A lot of the players will be streaming their matches on their individual Twitter feeds. I will be streaming my matches on not only the Orange and Black SoccerCast Twitter feed, but also on our YouTube, Facebook, Periscope /Twitch, and our website. Hopefully we got Dylan and Alan who will be able to do the play-by-play /commentary for those matches, as long as they're willing to do it and keeping it enjoyable for you guys. We'll try and make that work out. There might be times where they won't be able to do it, and I won't hold that against them. But I do expect them to do a majority of the matches because that's what they need to do during this time. They don't have anything better to be doing anyways, right?
Wait, what? Never. What? My whole life is
the podcast.
Yes, basically.
Yes. So let me do this. Sergio, let me throw it to you. You want to share with our listeners where they can follow you on social media or on Twitch or any other thing?
So for Twitch, it's Serge, SERGE _protector. That's Serge Protector for Twitch. And for Instagram, it's Sergio Zoom 54.
Perfect. And do you have any additional things to throw on there, Kaylor, for social media?
Just Kaylor Hodges is my Twitter, and Legion Hodges is my Twitch. And since Dylan couldn't come up with a book, I have one for you, Don Quixote. It's a great book, and if you just want new music, Mahler 3 is a good choice.
Perfect. Alan, what about you? Where can our listeners find you?
A Underwood 48 on the Twitter machines. Serge, I would have given you a standing ovation, but there's a bed right above my head, so a sitting ovation for that handle is appropriate. And as far as music recommendations, I can't recommend more highly the #1 for 8 weeks. How Much Is That Doggy in the Window? #1 hit. Go check it out.
What year?
1952 or 53.
I don't know if you're right. I'm just going to say perfect. Dylan, what about you? Where can our listeners find you?
You can find me on Twitter at OCSC_Dylan or on Reddit /u/OCSC_Dylan.
Perfect. And you can find me on Twitter at DJ Ray Samore. You can also find the podcast on Twitter at OCSC_SoccerCast. You can find us on Facebook by searching for Orange and Black SoccerCast. Instagram, Same as our Twitter handle, OCSC_SoccerCast. You can find us on Pinterest. You can find our website, OCSCpodcast.com, to listen to any of our previous episodes, or you can listen to our episodes on any of your favorite podcast players, including Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Google Podcast. Wherever you listen to podcasts, you'll find us, iHeartRadio, wherever it is. So just look for it on that. So I want to thank our guests once again, Kaylor and Sergio, for taking their evening time to join us here and let us learn more about this EUSL League. As always, Dylan Allen, I'm Ray. This is the Orange and Black Soccer Cast, and we are out.
You have been listening to the Orange and Black Soccer Cast. For the latest Orange County SC news and information, visit our website, OCSCpodcast.com. Also, thanks to our sponsor, Roughneck Scarves, official scarf supplier to MLS, USL, and US Soccer. Get custom scarves for your group or team at roughneckscarves.com.